I lived here for the first 16 years of my life. I spent my days riding bikes around the neighborhood, taking the bus home after school, eating popsicles with my brothers, and when I was old enough to drive, cruising with my friends. There wasn't much to do in a small town growing up except drive aimlessly and gossip about who's dating who and what classmate is pregnant.
How does it feel
How does what feel?
to see your old workplace?
When I cross the Roosevelt County line, I instantly feel lonely and sad. The vast open spaces, tumbleweeds, and usually at least 15-mile-per-hour winds only add to the despair that this part of the state brings to me. The square downtown seems to be an analogy for my feelings. Rundown buildings, multiple storefronts that can't seem to hold a business for longer than 6 months, and desolation. I never felt like I fit in growing up. Everyone placed value in a very specific type of person, and I couldn't be farther from that archetype. This caused a lot of identity issues and self-loathing. The first 16 years of my life were spent trying to fit into a box, created by people I didn't even like, in a town that I hated. So here I am, in one of my least favorite places, and I still find myself having a glimmer of nostalgia and sentimentality, even though it may be coupled with a plethora of negative emotions.
Lonely Bridge in 200 miles. Here we go, guys.
There's so much open space, miles and miles and miles of grass. The vastness of the plains make you feel insignificant. The sounds of wind rippling through the fields and brushing past your skin make you feel closer to the earth. Riding bikes with our neighborhood friends, a few that my mother most likely would never allow me to hang out with if she knew the things that they said,
I literally had to
knowing every bump and curve in the
I
road.
just hit this way too hard.
Riding up and down the state streets as the warm air breezed by us. Soaking every last bit of summer up before the dreaded school year started again. I wish so deeply now to be able to relive those moments. Most of my positive memories from this town happened when I was a kid, before the burdens and sadness of life and reality set in, before I cared if my crush liked me or if people thought I was pretty.
Santa Claus is gonna come out of the sky.
A piece of me experiences this town for what it brought me in my childhood. Although certainly not perfect,
Just like us.
it was mine. I could list a million things I hate about Portales and the dread it sometimes brings, but I choose to highlight my favorite pieces of it. My grandma's garden, ripe with cucumbers and the most succulent cherry tomatoes in the summer. Her shag carpet that my brother and I would run our feet across and try to shock each other with, or scream at each other as we played the floor as lava. Our drawings that she still has hung up to this day. The endless Sudoku and the puzzles that she fills her time with. Her house is always a constant. The ENMU Stadium, where our Unitarian Universalist church that my parents organized met, running barefoot through the dingy halls lit by fluorescent lights, playing with friends and learning about Buddhism in the Bible Belt. The halls still feel like a secluded boundary where hate and judgment had no place, where for a moment we could feel a little less lonely. Our old home that sits on the corner of the block, surrounded by Mr. Tom, Linda, and the Parkers. All people who will forever paint my childhood. Seeing this house is weird. 2 people have owned it since my parents left Portales, and I still feel our family in the home. Our fingerprints left forever. But with that comes a sadness that it will never be what it once was.
There's Emily at this end, and we're gonna go over here to this end.
This place is by definition home.
Whole neck.
It's where I've spent a majority of my life. But one day,
They're both protected.
this
They
place
got their
will
helmet on
only
over
be a
here.
memory.
Back here to Emily.
I As time passes, it becomes farther and farther from the place it once was, and the place where all of my earliest happy memories are housed. Though at times negative, Portales created me. It will continue to create new memories, a new family, and a new home.
So when you lost it, remembering times when you were young.
It's an easy day to remember, isn't it? Is your birthday coming up?
14 more days.
A man named Whitney Young
Can I just make sure?
Jr. You have to be involved.
But for this moment in time, I want to hold space for exactly what Portales brought me. The good and the bad.